Hey, welcome to States Unlocked. It's the place to learn about social psychology, human behaviour, and also learn practical tips on how you can improve your life. If you want to understand yourself and others better, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. So this video is all about gaslighting. Now, if you don't know what gaslighting is, it's a term in popular psychology which describes when someone gets you to doubt your perception of reality. So if you've had the experience where whenever you say, "Oh, I feel this kind of way," people tell you you shouldn't be feeling that way, and this is something that you've experienced on repeat, I'm here to tell you that that is definitely abuse. Obviously, we've all experienced at one point or another someone disagreeing with our perception, maybe disagreeing with us, but someone constantly invalidating our feelings by telling us that what we are feeling is just not right, it's not accurate, and that we shouldn't be feeling it, is definitely not acceptable, and it's not something. It's not a show of love or support, let's put it that way. It's definitely abuse, and it tends to be something that is associated a lot with narcissistic personality disorder. So, unfortunately, narcissistic personality disorder is rampant in society. I know that a lot of people misuse the word narcissists, and a lot of people have narcissism and there's healthy narcissism, but narcissistic personality disorder is when it's gotten out of control, and this is a tactic that people often use to basically invalidate someone's reality, and oftentimes it can really destroy a person's self-belief, and it can really go a long way in diminishing a person's faith in themselves, and it's a very, very ugly thing to do to a person. The sad thing is that most people that are having that done to them don't necessarily realize that's what's being done. And it's very crazy making, because you think, okay, well, they're telling me my perception's wrong. Maybe I could see it in that way. Maybe I'm seeing it in the wrong kind of way. And you start doubting your perception. Now, I'm not here to say never question your belief systems, never question your perceptions, because ultimately, all of our brains get things wrong at times. And people who've gone through trauma, which is a great many of us, we do often perceive things, in a way that is not necessarily accurate. However, that does not invalidate the feelings that come along with that. That does also not invalidate the perception, even if it is a little bit off base. Now, to expect the general public to understand these kind of things is a lot to ask, because most people don't understand trauma, either because they've never experienced severe trauma themselves, so they can't necessarily understand why someone might be acting in a certain way, or you could be dealing with someone else who has no insight into their own trauma, so how the hell are they going to understand yours? So it's something that is very complicated, but the more you can understand what's going on with you, the better. In terms of gaslighting, it's definitely something that you want to separate yourself away from. Now, there can be a real temptation to try to fight with the gaslighter, the person who's actually, telling you your reality is wrong, and convince them why it's not. But you will never win, because these people are, they're the sultan of spin. They will find some way to twist things to make you the person who's in the wrong, because they literally can't take responsibility. Now, I believe this is because they've got a very fragile ego, so any admission of being wrong in a particular situation would be very damaging to their ego, to their sense of self. So they literally can't do it, even if they know that they're wrong. Now, I think it's a really important topic to understand for a lot of us, because a lot of people are very emotionally immature. A lot of people gaslight. Now, some people do it, most people do it unconsciously, and there's definitely varying levels of it. Some people do it and they're very malicious, and they're really trying to get into your head, and other people just do it on autopilot. It's not to say one abusive behavior means that everyone that does that behavior is the same, because that really is not the case. There's varying levels of abuse. Not to say any kind of abuse is okay, but it's really worth pointing out, because there can be a habit sometimes to demonize people. I mean, even within narcissistic personality disorder, there are different types of narcissists. Okay, so there are narcissists who, generally speaking, aren't have a lot of good in their heart, and this is something that I've seen a lot on YouTube, where narcissists are completely painted as, completely painted in a negative light and like they're evil and malevolent. And actually, that's not always the case. There are, however, malignant narcissists who do set out to cause pain and that do seem to get some sort of kick out of controlling other people. So it's something that's really nuanced, and it's not something that there are hard and fast rules about. And also, people, have their own personalities and their own life perceptions as well that go into all of this as well. But yeah, in terms of gaslighting, it's definitely something you do not have to tolerate. You deserve to have your feelings validated. You deserve to have your emotions validated by other people, but primarily by yourself, okay? So if we have grown up in a narcissistic family system, then we can develop codependent tendencies, particularly if you have been made the scapegoat or anything of that nature. So you can start to regulate your nervous system based on other people, okay? So this is something really important to understand as a way to try to get out of this. So you need to understand that you can regulate your own nervous system. Now, this isn't something that is going to happen overnight, okay? This is something that you've learned to do. You've learned to regulate yourself through other people. Now, this could be through reassurance-seeking behaviors, or this could be through, I'm not exactly sure all the different types of behaviors that could be born from this, but you could be needing someone else to behave in a certain way for you to be okay. Well, I've got news for you. You don't, okay? The belief that you do is the problem. That is the problem. And this is what narcissistic abuse can lead to. It can lead to a lot of self-doubt, a lot of, a lack of self-love, a lack of self-confidence, etc. So it's really important to get to grips with this, get an understanding of this, and just, as I said before, realize you don't need to put up with people constantly invalidating your reality. You don't. Everybody's reality is valid. Everybody's reality is, it just is. You can't say that someone's experience is wrong because it just is. It's like saying, people don't accept certain types of people. Well, it's like, well, they exist, Gay people exist, trans people exist, black people exist, Asian people exist, white people exist also. Any faction of society that's denied or not accepted, or, it's something that people try to do, but it just isn't reality. So all I'm saying is, you have to accept your own emotions. Don't necessarily look for validation from other people, because you need your own validation. And if you are looking for validation from other people, which honestly sometimes is normal, sometimes we need someone to kind of check in with us and tell us we're not crazy, especially after we've gone through this kind of abuse. But go to the people that are going to validate you, okay? People that are going to tell you your feelings are appropriate and that they accept their feelings. Now, one thing that I think is really misunderstood too is the idea of like, oh, well, if I validate somebody, then I'm agreeing with them. Wrong, okay? Wrong. And this is so important to understand, that just because you validate someone's emotions doesn't mean you agree with how they got to them, okay? It doesn't mean that you're saying, okay, let's say someone's saying, oh, Sharon's a complete bitch because she did this and that to me, and now I feel so completely angry and upset, okay? It's not about saying, yeah, Sharon's a bitch, okay? You could say that if you want. Maybe Sharon is a bitch. But it's more about saying, okay, I can see you're really angry, I can see you're really hurt, and, taking it in this way, giving you feel that way about the situation, it makes total sense that you would feel that way. And without invalidating someone. And again, just to reiterate, not everyone who invalidates people are gaslighting you. Not everyone who invalidates you is abusing you. That's really important to make that distinction in your mind, because people do it all the time, just purely because people are, generally speaking, not so emotionally intelligent. Obviously, there's lots of people that are, but there's a hell of a lot of people that aren't. So this is just an introduction on this topic. If you've enjoyed the video, I would love it if you could give it a like. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, if you like the video and you think you'd enjoy more content from me. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a comment, it really helps the channel to grow, because the more people engage with the content, they like it, they comment, they share it, etc., it boosts me in the algorithm, which is really good for my channel, which is something I'm working on. So yeah, so thanks very much for watching, and I will see you on the flips. Ciao for now.